Hi everyone, my name is Leanne and today I'm going to be telling you about all of the books that I am currently reading. I'm in a bit of a weird reading place at the moment, which I think is something that a lot of people are also feeling at the moment. It's just a strange time to do anything, I guess. And one of the things that is really affecting how much I'm reading is not having a commute anymore. I've mentioned in a few previous videos that I do most of my reading, or ordinarily would do most of my reading on my commute to and from work. I've got a 45-minute commute each way and I can spend about half an hour of each of those reading. And with that not there anymore, it's just a huge chunk of my reading not there anymore. And when we first started working from home, I was really good at mimicking my commute. I was getting up and reading an hour before I started work, which was great. It meant I was doing even more reading than I was doing on my commute. But lately, I just haven't been doing it. I've just been staying in bed, and it's not good because I want to read, and obviously this is something that I want to do. It's my favourite thing to do. But I think it's just a bit of a weird headspace. If you're in a similar position and have any advice for me, I would really highly welcome it. Any tips, I would be very grateful. But in saying that, some of the books I have been reading have been amazing. I've read so many books in recent weeks that I would consider new favourites. I finished The Switch by Beth O'Leary yesterday. She wrote The Flat Share, which I haven't read yet, but I'm now very keen to read it, having read her second book. I'm not going to talk about it too much because I'm not currently reading that. I finished it yesterday, but I did absolutely love it. My main read at the moment is It Only Happens in the Movies by Holly Bourne. This is a YA novel that is focused on a 17-year-old protagonist called Audrey. I never remember what characters' names are. So often I will refer to people as our main character, our protagonist, because I don't remember what people's names are. And Audrey has a lot of stuff going on in her life. She's just been through a breakup and she has some very difficult feelings surrounding that. She has a very strained relationship with her parents. Her parents have separated and there's a lot of tension between the two parents, but she's also kind of used as a middleman between the two of them. This takes a even more difficult turn when her father decides that they need to sell the house that Audrey and her mother live in. What Audrey also has going on in her life is her new job at this kind of slightly pretentious cinema where she works with this guy named Harry. And Harry seems like just a typical player, a typical fuckboy, but of course Audrey finds herself being drawn to him. I'm about halfway through this book now and I am enjoying it. It is slightly strange because I'm not really the target demographic for this anymore. I can tell if I'd read this when I was a teenager, I would have absolutely loved it. There's so much discussion of the male gaze in films, how women are portrayed in films, how romance is portrayed in romantic films. There's just so much really good analysis of those kind of feminist themes that I think I really would have loved if I'd read this when I was a teenager. A lot of it, I'm kind of oh, I get it. I am still intrigued to see where things go for Audrey and Harry, whether they do end up together, whether he does turn out to be a bad boy or not. So I will try and finish this very soon. It's just I've been reading it for quite a long time. The other book that I am physically reading at the moment is Asha and the Spirit Bird by Jasbinder Balan. I'm only a couple of chapters into this, but so far I think I'm really going to love it, and it is quite a short one. This is a middle grade book that is about a young girl who lives at the foothills of the Himalayas, and it is about what happens after her home is ransacked because her father, who works in the city, has stopped sending his wages back to support her and her mother. So really not far into this one yet, but I do think it's going to be one of those books that maybe after work I just sit down with and plough through in one session. I also have an audiobook that I'm listening to at the moment. I'm trying to listen to this when I'm doing work, but again, I would listen to a lot of audiobooks when I'm in the office normally and if I'm working on a spreadsheet or something, but at home I just find that I'm not able to do it as well. I think maybe at home even though there's fewer people, it feels like there are a lot more distractions. but I'm listening to On Earth We Are Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. This is a book that is written as a letter from a son to a mother who doesn't speak English, and he is basically telling his family history, touching on a lot of themes like race and masculinity. They are a Vietnamese family in America, and it takes a look at some of the blatantly racist experiences that they had, but also like microaggressions that he's come to realize as a grown-up. I'm probably about a third of the way through this now, and I think it's really, really powerful. There's a lot of really difficult stuff in there, but it is just stunningly written. I think it's a really, really fantastic book. So those are all the books that I'm reading at the moment. If you've read any of them, do leave your thoughts down below in the comments, and as ever, they will be linked in the description if you want to find out more about them. How is your reading at the moment? Are you feeling like slightly frazzled about it like I am? Let me know down below and we can have a little chat. I hope you guys are doing well, and I will talk to you in my next video.